Hey, we can read the patch notes now that we're in blocked queue. Who's ready for a delicious Cropnotes patch 9.14? Nemesis is ready. Hey y'all, Scott here. We're finally at the halfway point of the season. Wow, really? How's your rank climb going? Hey, pretty good, thanks. How are your TFT games going? Also pretty good, thanks. For more details on the schedule, for future patches for the remainder of the year, please check out the patch schedule on the support page. Also, tell your friends and bookmark that link. Is this like a calendar? Huh. Okay. Every 2 weeks still. Fine by me. Most of the time this stuff is not important. During this patch, we're introducing certain counter mechanics to some champions' existing abilities. Our general thought is having natural counters to common and powerful effects in the game will help make it healthier in the long term. I agree. That's one problem with the game right now, is that there are a lot of characters where it's like, why would you pick that over that? What's the point? They're just a worse version. Like Kennen and Nico are currently two characters that are very, very, very similar in terms of how you play them, but Nico is just better. And as part of our overarching Summoner's Rift balance strategy, we want to continue encouraging diversity in picks, in lane picks, and push safer and more reliable champions to a more sharp space like other champions are in currently. I agree. Blah 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 blah. With these points in mind, here are the counters that will be added to specific champions in 9.14. Anti-shielding, anti-healing, flat damage reduction, improvements to true sight mechanics, and anti-mobility. These changes are the last planned round of significant pattern level or mechanic updates to champions before the end of season. Okay, that's good. New skins, nobody cares. Now here's the shield break stuff that I thought was kind of cool. So Blitzcrank R will just remove shields now, destroys shields, and then deals damage. Okay. Same with Renekton, which gives him better matchups versus... Who now? Who even has shields top other than Mord? He would be good versus Mord. Makes him a little bit better versus Malphite. Most characters with shields are not in the top lane, really. Well, makes him better in general. This was interesting too. A plus 20% on the healing reduction from Katarina's R, which is really nice. It already shredded people, so I think that that's fine. Lead Q. Pulling in an enemy reduces all healing on them by 60% for 5 seconds. Okay. I think that they need to... the visual for having grievous wounds on you, or any kind of healing reduction, I think that they need to redo the visual because it shouldn't overlap with Ignite, in my opinion. I think that you should have a more visible debuff when your healing is reduced. Flat damage reduction champions. Fizz. Leona and Fizz will now be a little stronger against opponents with death by 1,000 cuts types of damage patterns, like on-hit dot champions. Nimble Fighter. Damage reduction against all sources of damage. Okay. Maximum 50% reduction. That's still a lot, though. So now Fizz has a way better lane versus Malzahar. I didn't know that it already had this basic attacks reduction, though. I didn't know about that, and I played Fizz for a long time. So it scales with ability power, which is good, because you want that anyway. Now he has a better lane versus all kinds of poke, just makes sense. Leona, Eclipse now grants 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 pre-mitigation damage reduction at 50%. They scaled down her armor and magic resist though to counter that. And Solar Flare no longer gains empowered basic attacks. Okay. True Sight CC champions. True Sight, I just read CC here. While these abilities already provide True Sight, we're taking them a step further and extending the True Sight effect beyond these champions' abilities, tethers, and into the complete CC. W now provides True Sight on rooted targets. Okay, that's fine. So that means that she's better against Twitch lanes. The amount of people with invisibility, does that mean that you can see Akali in her shroud? I don't think so. I think Akali's shroud is special. Oh well, nice little buff. Tiny buff to LeBlanc spell. Reveals successfully rooted targets for the duration of the root as well. This should also have the R beside it. This should be the purple one as well, just for readability, so that you know that it's both. Soul Shackle now reveals successfully stunned targets. I don't know if I like that one. I feel like Morgana's R is already super good. I don't know if she needs additional vision on top of that. This is not a super significant change, but I feel like Morgana is already, at least in low elo, like an extremely annoying champion to play against if you are bad at dodging and things. So I don't know if I really like her getting that added to her kit. It was special. They switched it this patch. Okay, so Akali can now be revealed. Wow, they like reverted all of that then. So now she can get targeted by turrets in the shroud and it's not special. LOL. Ari Charm. I liked this change a lot. E now cancels in progress dashes. Bonus damage duration decreased. I think that this is really good. This makes dealing with things like a pike way better. This makes dealing with Lucian way better. You know, basically everybody with a dash. I wonder how it interacts with LeBlanc actually. Be interesting. Because it's not really a dash, it's like a pop in place. I don't know. Guess we'll see. You already kind of did cancel it before though against LeBlanc, so it's fine. I think that this is a good change. The bonus damage duration down by 2 seconds is not really a good trade for this though. This is like a obvious nerf that they just wanted to throw at her, which I think is okay. I don't know if that's really required because I think that E is a pretty good ability that, like, the bonus damage makes sense. You get rewarded for landing a skill shot that's fairly difficult to land. I kind of like it. Whatever. I wish that they wouldn't have done this, but her win rates in general are very high, so. She's 52.4, so she's... They're not toning this guy down? Maybe they are, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Anyway, they wanted to nerf her a little bit, I guess. Cassio, these seem fairly significant. W minimum cast range removed. Maximum cast range decrease. Cooldown increased early and decreased late. It's like word salad. General. Cassiopeia can now buffer her ability casts. Base health is up. Health growth is up. Mana down by quite a bit. Mana growth up by quite a bit. And armor down. Miasma. Cassiopeia no longer has a minimum cast range. Okay, yeah, I do know what that is now. Yeah. This was kind of a funky ability. It was like Rumble Alt. It was always a bit further away from you than you wanted it to be. So maximum is down by 100 units, but now you can do it closer to yourself. And basically rat poison. Cassio heals for 75% less when she poisons minions and smaller monsters. So this is a significant nerf to her as well. Where's she at? I don't know why they needed to do that to her. Costs 50 at all ranks, that's a nerf too. Oh. But they changed the way that it works. So instead of it being flat plus... Oh god, 25%? That's a lot. I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. Those changes altogether, difficult to really know, but 25% seems like a lot, especially because of how many E's you get off in a fight. Poppy. W bonus movement speed increased, bonus movement speed duration decreased. Grounds and slows dashing enemies. If Poppy stops an enemy from dashing or casting a movement ability, she'll ground them for 20... and she grounds and slows them. Wow. Okay, that's a significant buff. Wow. Okay, so if you're Lucian and you're inside of Poppy W, you get stopped by it. This means that you can't flash for 2 seconds. That's a really big buff, actually. Aatrox. Base health regen growth increased are no longer revives Aatrox. Ever? What? I thought that was the whole point to the character. Despite the adjustments we made over the past couple of patches, Aatrox has remained a stalwart.
Stalwart.
Loyal, reliable, and hard-working, he remained a stalwart supporter of the cause. Okay. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard that word before? I read quite a bit, and I've never heard stalwart before. Presence in pro play. Making him less reliable as a blind pick with the removal of revives from his ultimate. Aatrox no longer earns a revive through kills. And the healing has been changed a little bit to help with that, and the cooldown has been decreased. Yeah, Dante Stalwart, famous football player. Oh, of course. That's who they're referencing. Aatrox was a bit like a football player. He was always getting moving around. Okay, so here's what Fizzy was talking about. W cooldown flattened, energy restore flattened, duration extension removed, stealth type changed, Q AP ratio increased, E damage increased, R cooldown increase. Holy shit. You think this character might have been a problem? You think this character might be a balancing nightmare? Holy shit. We're taking some steps to make Akali a little less slippery while buffing her in other areas. By changing her stealth type to invisibility, she'll now be revealed by true sight, giving more enemies a way to find her when she's in her shroud. Additionally, there will be a higher cost when she chooses to use her ultimate as a means of escape. But on the plus side, the buffs to her energy restore and damage on her E will help her stay lethal against any unfortunate caught out enemy. AP up on her Q. Magic resist growth up by flat by 5 is a lot. That's a lot too. So they want you to play tankier, I guess. Cooldown up by 30 seconds at max rank. That's really significant too. These kinds of numbers are hard to say how they're gonna work though. Obscurity to invisibility. Akali is now fully revealed by true sight rather than only her outline. Okay. Cooldown is increased by 7 seconds at max rank. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if they mean by buffing her in other areas. These seem pretty significant nerfs in all ways, but I guess we'll see. Upping his mana and mana growth. I feel like Ali's really strong. I don't know why you need to give him even more bonuses. Maybe I'm wrong? Holy shit, maybe I'm super wrong. Alistair, where are you? There he is. Okay, I guess I'm super wrong. He has a tough time. What the hell? Okay, that's fine. I've been out of bot lane for too long. I've always felt like Alistair is really strong, but maybe I'm wrong. Star Surge. Making larger than lane Q stars is so bad that it's just considered trolling. But it's definitely one of the cooler parts of Aurelian Soul's kit, and should actually be considered a viable ability, especially in coordinated play. These changes should help encourage more dummy thick Q stars. Omega lol. So they buffed him? Oh, the E works off of level now. Okay. Whatever. Bard, travel speed increased. Ally bonus speed, 33%. I don't know if that'll change anything. Are they nerfing her? Inner arc speed, outer arc speed. Okay, so they slowed both of them. Mana cost up. Okay, good. So it is a tiny nerf. Galio changes. Holy shit, is this the biggest patch of all time? What the fuck? Passive cooldown reduction removed, cooldown decrease, blah 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 blah. I'm already bored of these changes. Let's move forward here, folks. Colossal Smash is no longer reduced every time Galio hits a unique enemy champion with an ability. Fine. His Q damage is up, and the cost is down. Self-slow has been reduced by 15% when he's doing his charge thing. Fine, Deadly Flourish cooldown decreased, and the root duration is up. That's good. I like Jin. Lux, big nerfs coming here, folks. 50 at all ranks, so it's less spammable. The cooldown starts at 13. I feel like they could have even upped that by... I think this could be a 15-second cooldown at level 1. Make her really weak early. Shielding... Change your numbers up. Final Spark cooldown refund no longer refunds a percentage of its maximum cooldown when hitting at least one enemy champion that dies within 1.75 seconds. What an arbitrary thing. So they reduce the cooldown, and the AP is up on this? Holy shit, you're gonna get nuked now. That's an extra 25% ability power. Hmm. Some changes to my boy. Slow increased. Slow duration decreased. For the next 5 seconds after casting, Malphite's basic attacks cleave enemies in a cone in front of him. Cost is up. Gains 50 increase range and deals bonus on hit. Okay, that's fine. Of course, a male is advocating for weak females. You know what kind of patch we needed for Lux? Increased boob size by 25% on all skins. Okay. Passive no longer activates on Mord's corpse. Magic Pen down by 10% at max rank. Whoops. A little bit of a buff to the girl. I like that it showed this. I played against the Pike earlier and I thought that this was a really positive change. Danny Phantom. Phantom Undertow now stuns non-champions but deals no damage to them. Okay. While the dart didn't land on rework this patch, it did land on bug fix and slightly grazed buff. So his health regen slightly up. Q bug fixes. Overload no longer cancels Rise's movement when spamming during its cast time. Spellflux now correctly triggers mana flow band when it bounces to a champion. Spellflux no longer bounces back to its original target off of other targets that have flux on them. Why not? It did that before. Singed recast timer is up to half a second. Our toggle spells, okay, so this is just like a quality of life thing, I guess, not really a nerf. This patch is ginormous. Holy cow. I feel like we've been on this forever. Health growth down, attack range down. Ravenous Flock is his passive. Collecting a soul fragment restores 5.57% of Swain's mana. That's nice. I really like Swain too. Maybe I should get him actually. Q. Killing a target no longer restores 3% of Swain's maximum mana. I didn't know that that happened. Bolts now always continue through minions, but stop on impact with enemy champions. Range decreased. Cooldown increased. Angle between bolts changed. Okay. Swain drains all enemy units within range, including invisible units. That's cool as well. Demon Flare. Minimum and maximum damage is changed. Sylas. I have big problems with Sylas. I think that he's kind of ridiculous. Sylas has been a high priority pick in pro play due to his versatility and late game power. We're putting in some changes focused around reducing the fallback power of his ultimate and changing his pick conditions. Good. Damage reduction in minions is down by 20%. The ability power, so they buffed the Q. No longer shields himself against all magic damage for 2 seconds on first cast. Cooldown to 14 seconds at all ranks. Abduct stun duration is down. Cast range reduced on taking people's ults. You can only hold them for 90 seconds. The cooldown is now 60 seconds at max rank instead of 15 seconds at max rank. AP ratio conversions get swapped up. Okay, I guess we'll have to see. This seems like they didn't really change a lot. Inch. We're taking a sweeping pass at some of the things that make Tahm Kench unnecessarily frustrating to play against. Notably, the constant CC that plagues opponents in lane and his Q's large melee hitbox. And he can now devour blue and red buffs because it seems like it could be fun. No longer deals bonus magic damage based on passive stacks. Abilities no longer apply an acquired taste stack. Okay, so he has to auto for them. I see. It's still that's a lot of on-hit damage. No longer hits enemies in a wide arc in front of Tom. Stunning an enemy with tongue lash consumes all stacks. Slow down by 20% at max rank. Slow duration up. Stun duration up. Devour. Tom can blah blah blah. Enemies are no longer nearsighted while devoured. Enemies are no longer stunned for a quarter of a second after they're regurgitated. Thank you. Damage ratio, 11% of targets max health. I feel like they haven't done enough. I feel like they really did not nerf this guy very much. They did hurt the shield here though. 75% of gray health at all ranks. But they reduced the shield and upped the heal. They reduced the damage on Yumi. Upped the cost. What's the gray health thing? When you hit Tahm Kench, the damage that you dealt to him is taken away from his health bar, but the damage that you dealt to him is now able to be used as a shield. So, like, if he doesn't activate it, he can... Kench... Gray health...
This is a fast back race that look, you know, me out for if he gets out of combat, the grey health takes is turned into this grey health. After he gets out of combat, the grey health slowly comes back and heals him. But as you can see, the active turns this grey health into a shield that quickly falls off. So he...
Nice video, bro Fesco. Alright. Holy moly, they've changed a lot. Lightning Rush gives bonus attack speed? I didn't know about that. It's an overall rebalance of base stats. AD on Jace reduced by 4. That's actually quite a bit. Damage down again. Nico. Basic attacks. Down by 4. AD growth up by a bit, attack speed growth up by a bit. Shapeshifter passive bonus movement speed is down by 10% at all ranks. Holy moly, that is a lot of changes. I guess we'll see how they go. Is this all being implemented at once? Yeah, that's what the patch this morning was. So this is all on right now.